to welcome you to the Riverside Weekly. We hope your time with us today is thought-provoking, spiritually challenging, and a life-changing experience. Our discussions and messages can be raw, real, and at times very uncomfortable and even controversial. We highly encourage all of our guests and listeners to take notes, leave comments, and when possible, always share what you hear. And now here are your hosts, Pastor Selo and Pastor Mia.
Just kidding. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
Good morning, Vietnam. How y'all doing? How's everybody going? Man, welcome you guys. Man, we are almost at 120 subscribers. So, man, thank you guys for subscribing, hitting that bell for the notifications. It lets you know when we have a new episode come up. It lets you know, actually, anytime we do any videos that come on YouTube's, man.
Yay.
YouTube's. I said YouTube's.
YouTube's. Are there two of them?
There's tubes.
I want to say two things. I love my hair. It's what happens when you take a bath. What was I going to say?
I don't know. I'm laughing because you took a bath.
Give me that heart. I'm going to eat my candied heart. Can I have yours too?
I guess, sure.
Well, that's not going to... I'll give you a pen for it. Thanks.
Okay.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast again, and I'm glad that you're still subscribed and still listening. But we are at 120 followers, and we'd like to be at a million.
Well, let's just go for 125.
Okay. All right.
Five
tell your
at a
friends,
time.
Tell your grandmas, tell your tias, tell your tios, anybody, tell your nieces,
If you
nephews.
watch us at all,
Yeah.
just like, subscribe, and hit the
share.
notification. Hit the notification and share.
Yeah, but if you don't share, then how would anybody know?
No.
Today's topic is really, really good, and so
What are we
you
talking
want
about?
it or not? Because
I thought you already ate it.
No, I'm not like you. I don't just
I'm not like you.
one bite. You know.
As I took one whole bite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, our wedding cake was the same. Remember, you took it all in one bite, and I was still chewing throughout all the pictures. So, anyway, today's topic you might want to tell your friends about. Not that we don't have really good topics, but this one just made me think about a series that we're doing at church right now. We're doing the sex experience, and everyone gasps. But it actually isn't about that. It's about knowledge, really. Today's topic is about knowledge, right? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I was just going to say that the name of this topic, the name of this podcast is going to be To Clean or Not to Clean.
To clean or not to clean?
That is the question.
All right, so what are we talking about?
Well, we're not talking about cleaning your house because people already have to do that anyway.
Okay.
We're talking about cleaning your kids' rooms, and parents are like, no, I don't want to do that. Or maybe you don't do that. But if you are a parent of young kids or adults that live with you, you know.
Young adults.
Yeah,
Preteens.
young adults, preteens.
Teenagers. College students. Well, I don't know about college students.
Could be. If they're paying rent or if they're not paying rent.
No.
If they're living with you.
Mm,
See, this is why I chose this topic. I knew we would disagree. We're going to agree to disagree on this because the question is if you have kids in your home or you had kids in your home, maybe you've already dealt with this before, but to clean or not to clean. And I say that because I clean a lot of houses, and when I'm cleaning, I always try to remember to get under the bed. And I know my kids did it, and I don't know about anybody else, but they shove stuff under the bed. And when you
great hiding spot.
Yeah, it is, but it's also a great hiding spot. You see? And that's what I'm saying is to clean or not to clean, because that hiding spot, I feel like this is where that came from. I feel like parents of young adults or young kids or students of any age, honestly, really, I know you disagree. I'll let you say it in a minute. I feel like you should at least clean their room once a quarter, every 3 months. And, well, I mean,
No, go ahead.
you know, because you can't do it every month, but you could do it every 3 months. And really the purpose of cleaning their room is to find out what they're hiding.
Man, you lost a bunch of people right there.
I don't care.
This is America.
Okay.
Privacy.
Okay, privacy or not privacy. If you live in my home, I want to know what you have. I don't want drugs in my home. I don't want, these things in my home. I don't want you running guns out of my house. And I'm just saying, this is the thing. And if we don't talk about this with our kids, what we do find, then someone else is talking to them. Someone's like, your parents never going to clean your room, so just hide it under there, or hide it here, or hide it in a shoe, or hide it wherever. So I always made it a point to drag everything out of my kids' beds. After they told me they cleaned their room, they would shove it all in the closet or under the bed. And when you drug it all out, then you could find everything.
The missing sock.
Or the bowl
missing
of cereal.
Underwear. The bowl of cereal.
That was sitting under there.
Uneaten Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. I would prefer to find snacks.
Cheetos.
Yeah, but I would prefer to find snacks than to find guns. I would prefer to find dirty underwear than to find weed, or drugs for that matter. And I'm just saying that if you're not in your kid's bedroom or whoever's staying with you, you don't know what they're hiding. You don't know what they could be having, this secret life. They could be having heads under the bed for all I know.
You mean like decapitated heads?
Yeah. Didn't you not watch these movies? Let me tell you why he's laughing. Because he says that every time I talk about something that it has to do with death. Death and destruction. Die! That's Bug's Life. That's not me. Okay? That's Disney. Right? Didn't they say Disney movies at the beginning? Or
I say that.
Disney movies always have death.
Almost every Disney movie has somebody die at the very beginning of it.
So was Herbie the Love Bug death? I mean, was it Disney? Because there wasn't any death in that one.
I don't remember. I was referring more to the animation cartoons.
Oh, okay. I was like, nah, that's not
fairy
right
tales. Like somebody's always dying.
So the question is,
first 15, 20 minutes, somebody dies.
Yeah, always die. Okay, so the question is to clean or not to clean. What do you? Because I hear you over there, and you're already like, I feel like as a parent, and you really didn't even clean the kids' rooms.
Yeah.
You just let them clean it the way they did. Or he's extremist. He took a black trash bag, scraped everything in there, shoes, underwear, trash, clothing, didn't matter, toys, all in the bag, and he took the bag out to the trash. If you didn't clean it the way that he wanted it clean, when he wanted it clean, it all went into the trash.
That's how I clean. Like
and
it.
I do
if
not.
If I got to clean it, you're not going to like it.
I sort it all. I sort it. Dirty clothes,
too
toys, things we can use, trash.
Too much work. Too much labor. Just.
So you're a not to clean then?
No, it's not that I'm a not to clean.
Then tell me, because I really feel like it's important to know what your kids are harboring.
No, I agree. I agree that it's important to know, especially. Well, I guess that's where I limit. So,
give me the limit. Where's the line?
So for me, from 0 up till 17, 18 years old, I think there's some privacy that they can receive or have, but I think it has to be earned. I don't think you should just put a sign on your door or stay out. No parents allowed, no adults allowed. You don't pay enough rent here to be able to do that. But at the same time, I believe that teenagers, preteens, they can begin to have a certain amount of privacy that's earned with trust and communication and relationship. But at the same time, I don't think that if your son or daughter is 18 years old or above, I don't feel like you have the right to go into their room if they're out of school, if they're working, if they're
if they're not paying rent?
If they're contributing to the household. I feel like. Yeah,
and what if they're not contributing?
If they're not contributing, I think there has to be a conversation of like, you're not contributing, so I can pretty much go into your room whenever I want, start contributing. Mm-hmm. But I think when you have people live with you or stuff like that, like I don't know if I would go through their stuff. It's kind of there has to be a certain amount of privacy, but at the same time, I think that privacy is earned, privacy is expected. I think that with younger, right now in today's society, I think that young people, children, teens, preteens, I think they feel that they have a certain amount of entitled privacy. But you don't have those rights when you're that young. That's why our school system is so jacked up the way it is that we're wanting to give children, preteens, teenagers, all the rights and privileges of an individual who is paying taxes, who is contributing to the community, contributing to the household, has responsibility, and we're giving a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 12-year-old that same privilege or that same right to have privacy, and they don't necessarily have that privacy. You can't be in my room. Oh yeah, I'm coming through the room. Trust me, you don't pay it. And I've done it. I'll take the doors off the hinges, and I'll show you how private you're not going to have it.
Yes.
So I think that's where I struggle as far as being able to go in there. But at the same time, I think that it's important to understand what it means to have earned privacy. Not to just go and clean. First of all, I mean, I'm not going to clean up nobody's room, but I will go snoop through it. When it comes to our kids. But I think when it comes to parents and aunts and uncles and grandparents, I think there's a certain amount of restrictive privacy that those kids have. Like children should not have the same amount of privacy that a 20 or 21-year-old or a 30-year-old should have, right? But as they're getting older, they should be allowed to earn that privacy, earn those rights to have some privacy, have a lock on their door. Like we don't have locks. We never had locks on our kids' doors. Like, you're not locking the door. Yeah. I'm walking open the door whenever walking in.
And if you lock it, I'm finna punch it open.
Yeah, the only time that you ever allowed to lock it is if you were using the restroom. Yeah. And then maybe when the sun's going down and everybody's going to sleep, kind of like, stars all line up together. But I think it's very important that what you said. I think it's important for parents to go dig in the dresser drawers, go look in the folded socks and the clothes. I think it's important to look under the beds, in between the bed mattresses and under the sheets and under the pillows. Like, get in their business, in their closet. Whatever one place that they want to hold most sacred is probably the place where they're holding the most contraband.
Yeah, the most contraband. Well, it's kind of like what we said before. Parents, they give them a little too much freedom at times.
For sure.
And I think that when you start seeing, the different changes, that's when you're like, okay, you're hiding something from me. I need to find out.
Absolutely.
And I feel like parents should know what is going on. We've had parents tell us before, oh, I know everything. My daughter tells me everything. Nope. My son tells me everything. Trust me, they do not tell you everything.
Yes, if that's you and you're watching, you're like, I know everything about my kids, you are in denial and you are deceived.
Yeah.
Them kids are not telling you everything.
That's right.
And at the same time, we should trust our kids enough to know that they're not going to.
Yeah.
But if you think that you know everything about your kids, I guarantee you are sadly mistaken.
Well, that's what made me think about, the series we've been doing, this sex experience. The little boy on there, he said the dad asked him how much he knew about sex, and he was like, oh, I know quite a bit. And he's like 6. And the dad, starts talking to him. He's like, yep, I know that and this and that. And the dad was like, where'd you learn that from? And the little boy says his brother's name, and the dad's like, who's that? And he's like, my brother. But the dad is so blown away that he doesn't know anything. And by what he knows at 6, that he just didn't even remember he had another kid.
Didn't comprehend that his sibling was sharing that information.
Yeah, and I feel like, friends at school, that they tell the kids, you can hide, your parents will never look here, hide it there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Whatever it is. And it is a learned behavior, and I'm not really just talking about their room, to clean or not to clean their phones or not to clean.
Their pads, their
backpacks,
their accounts, their backpack. I mean, to me,
their laptops.
Yeah, anybody that's under 17, 18 years old, man, they don't have. If children-wise, they don't have. I don't feel like they deserve the rights. Like, you don't just have the rights to be able to keep things from parents.
Yeah. You don't pay bills, number one. You do contribute because you take out the trash, or maybe you wash dishes, or you do something. You are a contributor, but you don't pay the bills for the house, and you don't,
Well, and I'm, you're talking, I'm thinking, really, I think a lot of parents, I think they, especially, I don't know, I say nowadays, but I think a lot of times parents, we assume the best from our kids because we don't want to have to face
Facts.
the facts and the rejection of what actually happens. And so we live in a state of denial of not wanting to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And the whole time our kids are dealing with stuff that we don't want to address. And so that's why they're dealing with stuff. And so, you know, all the time you hear about how kids are maybe committing suicide or being bullied or taking drugs or cutting themselves, dealing with anxiety and depression, all these things. And the parents like, I had no idea what's going on. It's because you didn't go look in their phone. You didn't go look in their
room. You didn't go look in their laptop. You didn't go
you
look in their car. You didn't go look in their backpack when they're asleep.
Yeah, so that's why you're in the dark. And as much as every parent wants to have believe the best and have and think that they have the best, they know everything and that they have the best relationship with their kids, it's not true. I mean, I feel like with our kids, I felt like our relationships with our kids was really, really, really good.
But we still didn't know
everything. There was things that were taking place that we weren't aware of, whether it was just sheer ignorance. They were really good at hiding it, or we were in denial. I can't tell you all three together. But there are things that our kids were doing, experimenting with, involved with, that we weren't necessarily aware of. And as holy and as spiritual as we are, the Holy Ghost tells us all things, right? But you don't always get everything that your kids are doing. And so I think that a lot of parents, they just assume that, and it's sad, and it's sad and concerning that most parents just assume the very, very best of their kids. Yeah. And not that every kid's bad or doing evil things or doing mischief or anything like that, but I think that there is a certain amount of trust that they have entitlement to, and privacy that they're entitled to, that we as parents overlook and allow things to happen. Yeah, so we don't even
skirt it under the rug. Oh, I don't want to know about that.
Yeah, because we don't want to know about it. We don't want to talk about it. You know, and just God forbid you go and check out your kids, one of your daughter's sock drawer, and she's got tons of rubbers in there. I mean, you don't what parent wants to find out that, you know? Or
you mean condoms?
Condoms, rubbers, whatever you want to call them, prophylactics.
Okay.
Right. So no parent wants to see that. Nobody. My
or you find a vial of pills and it has no label on it. You know?
So you don't want to. We don't want to have to deal with that. So we unconsciously or even consciously refuse to go and look into areas of our kids. And so we don't clean. We don't go in there. We don't get in their business because we don't want to deal with it.
I don't know.
That's my thoughts.
Okay. All I know is that when my kids lived with me, we drug it all out, everything. And we didn't do it all the time, but we at least did it once a month. And we drug it out from the beds, behind the counters. Because number one, and you're going to laugh, but number one, all that stuff being there dirty causes roaches. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
Or rats. We don't need all that. So I was digging it out. I didn't want no mashed potatoes stuck between the couches, or tater tots or,
hidden stuff,
anything. And
dirty underwear.
Yeah, and if you're not pulling all that stuff out, you don't know what they hid in there. Could be pizza. I mean, we already did the experiment on the Little Caesars? Little Caesars pizza.
Stop eating Little Caesars.
That's because it doesn't rot. And you don't know how long it's been in there. So I have another topic that I was going to talk about today, but if you come back next week, maybe we'll carry on with this. And you're like, well, it doesn't pertain to me because I don't have little kids. Yeah, but you have grandkids and
nieces and nephews.
Yeah, nieces and nephews, and maybe you're wiser, older. You need to give this information out to your family, especially if you see something odd about them, and be like, they didn't used to be like that. They're snapping a lot at you, that type of thing.
I think that's upset somebody. I think that's a cop-out to say I don't have kids. Well, I don't have any kids, so this doesn't.
It takes a village to raise a family.
I think,
or
but
raise
to say
a kid.
that says that you really don't care about anybody else's kids. You don't really care about your nieces and nephews, cousins, like children in general. Like, well, I don't have kids. I don't know if I don't know. Pet peeve. Sorry. soapbox.
Yeah,
Don't get me going.
I know it is. But the other thing I was going to talk about was when is it? When is the appropriate age to start giving your kids, what did I call it? Not chores, but
Chores, responsibilities.
No, responsibilities. When is it old enough for them to start washing dishes, or for them to start washing their own clothes?
Contributing to the household.
Well, that's not contributing to the
Yeah,
household.
yeah, it is. Taking
That's
the trash
teaching
out.
them life skills. When is it old enough to start teaching them life skills? Mowing the lawn, washing the clothes, mopping and vacuuming,
washing dishes.
Yeah,
You name it. Clean the toilet.
Yeah, clean the toilet. What we're going to talk about that next time.
Okay. Cool.
Because I think
Join us next week when we talk about house living and homemaking here on Riverside Weekly. So if you're interested or would like to know what it's like or how to get your kids to do more, please tune in next week. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell.
And share. All right. We'll see you guys next week. I don't know if that was for somebody or where that came out of, but it was on my mind, and I was like, we got to talk about it. And I think it's a 2-part series. So, anyway, love you guys. Thanks for subscribing. Please, please, please tell your friends. Help us, raise our numbers
125
to 120. 125 gigawatts. No, I want 150 at least.
Oh, okay.
Before summer.
Before summer?
Yeah, and we're going to take this show on the road. We've already done it once. We're going to do it again, especially now that the sun is out. I heard it's supposed to snow again in April, so be prepared. Clean your chimneys, get some wood, buy some propane, buy some jackets, and let's start getting ready.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys later. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for listening, subscribing.
Thank you for listening to the Riverside Weekly. Download the Riverside Waco app to stay connected and follow us on all social media sites at the Riverside Waco. This podcast is made possible by the givers of Riverside Community Church. Production and engineering provided by Capital G and RTV in Waco, Texas.